Welcome, and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I apologize. I feel like I'm late on these, although I don't necessarily have like a schedule, but in any case, I do feel like I'm late on these, so I apologize for that. I have just honestly been burning the candle at both ends, and my ass is thoroughly kicked. So I've just been kind of struggling to find the energy to show up. So anyway, here I am with the energy to show up to do your reading here. And part of the reason why I was kind of stalling is because I know, like I said, I was going to have information available, just kind of to give you more information about your profile. Just kind of talk about the nuances. I love learning other people's interpretations of everything, basically. So I wanted to kind of, just explore different creators that are involved in human design and kind of bring that information to you, and also, of course, like shout them out. But I didn't have the energy. I just couldn't do it. So we'll just kind of do a brief overview, and then of course we'll get into your reading. So if you are here, you would be an investigator opportunist or a 1-4 profile, leading with that first line investigator. So, your security, your almost like your self-esteem comes from having a firm foundation of knowledge. So, you might like to investigate stuff. You might be one of those people where you just want to know the ins and outs of how something works. There might be, like a specific subject that once it kind of catches your interest, you will learn everything there is to learn about it. But at the same time, it kind of leads with insecurity. So if you don't feel like you are expertly capable of speaking on a subject, you may kind of find yourself, like I said, feeling a little insecure about it. And, like if the energy changes, like if the information that you have, if that changes, it just kind of sends you into a little bit of a frenzy to where, you just need more information to bring you back to that stability. And then you have that fourth line opportunist that wants to universalize that information within their community. So that's the people that so it's your network. They could even be part of your investigation, but it's kind of like, you want to share what you know with the people that you know. And it's not necessarily like you have to know every single one of them like one-on-one, but it would be within the network that you have created. And of course, with that opportunist fourth line, like most of the opportunities that you come across are going to come from within that community. That's not necessarily like, 100%, but if you are struggling to find an opportunity, or, and that could be like a job, it could even be a relationship, it could be hiring a painter. Your best resource is going to be that network, just putting your feelers out there within the people that you know, and kind of allowing that opportunity to find its way back to you. So that's just kind of like a quick overview of that profile here. Of course, we're going to do a tarot reading that would be, we're asking for a message relating to the 1-4. So of course, take what resonates, leave what does not. My hands are starting to fail. Oh. They've been busy too. I've been doing too much, basically. So we'll shuffle a few more times here. All right, what's the message for our 1-4s? Ooh, dang, we have the 9 of Cups, the 7 of Swords, 9 of Swords, interesting, Page of Swords, 4 of Wands, King of Cups. I don't know why oh, we have the Justice card, and then the 6 of Wands. Okay, interesting. I literally, like, when I looked at this card, I feel like I was like looking through it. That's why I was like, what is this card? And it's the Justice card. Okay. You know, like, it feels like a foundation has been shook here. And it's almost like trying to get back to either neutral, or there's an opportunity for growth here. I mean, of course, we're going to go through each one of these cards. That is just my first impression. Let me just kind of move everybody over a little bit here. Okay. I also, you know, I kind of love that we start with the 9 of Cups and we end with the King of Cups. And that's why, you know, I was kind of getting that feeling that there's an opportunity for growth here. And it seems like it would be like almost like an evolution of understanding, or I mean, we'll kind of see how it unfolds here. But again, we start with this 9 of Cups here, which is wish fulfillment. This is the feeling good, feeling great card. You know, like, prayers have been answered, manifestations have manifested. You know, Cups having to do with our emotions, 9s having to do with individual. So, you know, it's like you feel this energy within yourself, kind of this, you know, pride, or feeling proud of yourself and what you have accomplished, where you have gotten. And then we have this Page of Swords here, which is, you know, swords having to do with our thoughts, our mind, even our ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. You know, but it's like our perception of reality. It's those filters that experiences and information go through in our minds that were put in place by past experience, perceptions. So when we get to the Page of Swords, you know, there's a couple, you know, it's implementing a new thought process. It's thinking of something differently, but implementing that into our, you know, kind of existence. And this combination together, it feels like having to come out of your comfort zone. There may be something here, whether this is, you or somebody else, but that is, I want to say like testing that comfort zone. It could even be a new perspective that you have discovered, that is testing that comfort zone. There's this thing I saw the other day that said, there's no shame in admitting that you were previously speaking from a less informed place. Because that's growth, right? Like, we only know what we know. And if, with that first line investigation, there may just be new information that you've come across. And whatever it is that you're looking into or that you are interested in right now. Because it seems like it's causing some mental conflict here. That's why, I'm bringing that up. Because, and of course, like if there is something that you believe to be true for so long, based on the information that you had, right? And if that information changes, that's why I was saying with that first line, it's almost like having to dig into it even a little bit further, and even maybe observe it within your community. But it could even change it could even cause your community to change. Or your network or your friends or, the people that you like associate yourself to or identify yourself with. Like, it could cause a shift even in that, because your thought process, your information, what you know to be true is changing. Which is, evolution. It's growth. Because we have this Seven of Swords here. And the Seven of Swords generally talks about kind of like a sneaky type of energy. It's like not being totally informed, but it's also like the actual information was either kept from you or it was manipulated, or even the way that it was presented to you was a manipulation. Because again, swords having to do with our thoughts. This is like mind fuckery, mind games. That's why it's often associated with manipulation or like narcissism, people who are narcissistic or just kind of display those qualities. And with it being paired with the Four of Wands, which is literally the foundation, like that's what the Four of Wands talks about is, there's these 4 pillars here that create that stable foundation, like, the square or the rectangle. I mean, this could be a square, right? And it's generally involving other people also. Wands having to do with action, communication, also information. Like I see them as being the cards of or the suit of information, whether you're getting it or giving it. But there is an energy of harmony and union. There's a celebratory aspect to this as well, because you've reached a new place of stability or foundation. So again, like coming off of these first two cards, there could be just a little bit of a shakeup here that you're feeling with the foundation that you have, or even again, the people that you associate with, your community, your network, and maybe just kind of feeling like you didn't maybe have all of the information, or it's changed. Now, on the other side of things, the Seven of Swords also talks about taking risks. So, this thing over here, whatever this situation is, whether, like you are, to an extent, forcing yourself out of your comfort zone, that would feel like a risk here. And that risk would be to your stability, what you believe to be stable, which would cause this mental anguish because, the Nine of Swords talks about anxiety, overthinking, maybe losing some sleep at night. There's these 9 swords that are kind of coming down. So it just feels like there's this looming thing over you, again, with swords having to do with the way that energy lives in your mind. How are you perceiving the situation, right? I mean, this would be saying that there's a lot of fear. There's, of course, a lot of uncertainty, which could be causing stress and anxiety. Which is very much part of and normal for the growth process. Rarely is it comfortable to grow and expand, especially, when it comes to either our knowledge, how we perceive things, especially if we are dealing with, like I was saying at the beginning with the ego, right? Like if we are dealing with these perceptions and those filters that I was talking about that we have had in place since childhood, because that's inner child healing, right? Is we're going back energetically and mentally and looking at why do we have the perceptions that we do? And it's healing that and maturing that inner child, right? I've said this many times. You might have heard me say it in some other reading, but the only way to effectively and truly grow up is to heal your inner child. Otherwise, the coping mechanisms that we have, like the defense mechanisms that we have, all that self-sabotage stuff, everything for the most part that's coming out of this Nine of Swords and even the Seven of Swords is going to be inner child and ego, which is kind of linked together. So when you go back and you objectively look at those things, and you decide, like, is this mine or is this somebody else's? Is this something that somebody projected onto me? Do I actually feel this way about myself 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be that it belongs to somebody else. It was something that somebody projected on you. And, so you in effect heal that wound. And I always say that they're cruxes where our energies get stuck. There's experiences that we've had and traumas that we've had that caused, our energy to get zapped and to get stuck there. So we go back and we start looking for those whole cruxes, and those whole cruxes encompass that child, that inner child, whatever age, whatever time in our life where that energy got stuck in that time. So we go back, we heal it, we pour compassion. Oh my gosh, with the King of Cups, compassion, love, acceptance, all of this stuff into that. And effectively, we allow that inner child to mature a bit. We allow it to grow up. And that kind of forces our coping mechanisms to change, because we have a better understanding of the way that we work and how we work and why we react to external stimuli the way that we do. Very interesting. And I if you can't tell, I am so passionate about this subject, because that could even be, like a dark night of the soul, because it's not easy. It is not easy to do that. And it takes a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, a lot of energy to really look at yourself and really go into the depth of yourself and really, call up those experiences and see yourself in those moments and look at them objectively and look at them from a place of being an adult who has more experience now. You have more information. Especially you have, like, leading with that first line, you have more information, more experience with other people with that fourth line. Very interesting. And then we have this King of Cups. Like I said, the King of Cups is going to, I love how this whale, or is it an orca, I think maybe, is presenting this cup. It's like, kind of rising above these choppy waters here. And, the kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? So they have a clear understanding of how the energy of the suit works. Cups having to do with our emotions, right? So it's understanding your emotions. Again, like this big amount of compassion, this huge amount of acceptance. But also with the kings, you're able to share that with other people, because kings oversee a kingdom, right? Which is very much in line with your profile, because it's, the information that you are investigating, you want to share it with your community, because you understand the impact, you understand the importance of it, right? So you can't possibly just keep it to yourself, right? And that's what the king is going to do. They are going to, share that with the community. Absolutely beautiful. And then we have the Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is success, victory. We have this, what is that? I don't know why lemur came to mind, but I don't think that's right. Let me just... Oh, it is a lemur. Oh. So I need to learn to trust myself. But so, you know, we have this one lemur that's kind of up here, right? Rising above, maybe a little bit on a pedestal, clearly, literally. And then we have these other lemurs down here. This is the community. This would be you universalizing the information that you have successfully. And it would also be a matter of, yeah, okay. I just wanted to be sure before I said out loud that you guys would have right angle crosses for your incarnation cross, which is very much recognizing the energy within yourself. So you have to go through this process before you can universalize it to other people. Because it's like, again, you know, like if you don't even understand the energies, how are you going to be able to present it to other people? But also, how are you going to be able to talk about it and commune and, you know, help other people go through their own expansions? Very effing cool. This is beautiful. I feel like I got like a little bit deep, but hey, you know, like, that's where the energy takes us. And if you know me, you've heard me say, I will go wherever the energy takes me as long as it feels good. And I am hugely passionate about inner child work because, like I said, the only way to effectively grow up and to act from a place of being an adult, which I'm assuming most of you are now adults, is to look at your inner child and spend the time healing your inner child so that you can, you know, kind of reach this King of Cups energy where you are like the king of feelings. You have a clarity of your feelings. And I love too how we go from this 9 of Cups to the King of Cups here. Also interesting. Oh, okay. I mean, you know, there's 9 cups here, but like really these 2 cups are kind of more prominent. Like I saw these 2 cups and I had to actually put this in front of my face kind of to recognize that these were the 7 other cups. But on this King of Cups, they're only offering this 1 cup. So again, you know, I mean, you could even be just sifting through your stuff and really almost, again, like coming, you know, okay. Really quick, and then I'll wrap this up because I know I feel like I'm just kind of beating a dead horse. Is that the second time I said that during this reading? Sorry. This would be almost like a representation of those whole cruxes I'm talking about. So, you know, things happen in our lives, our energy, our emotion gets stuck in that moment of time. Right? So it's almost kind of like we become fractured, like our soul or our being, right? It just, like I said, like the energy gets stuck in those spaces of time. And the King of Cups, it's like coming back to wholeness because there's no longer 9 cups. And it's not to say that there's been 9 experiences or 9 whole cruxes that you need to, you know, release, but it is just saying, you know, we go from having multiple cups down to 1. So this would even signify coming back to wholeness. Beautiful. Okay. I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.